Okay, this is a small box, actually 2 small boxes of sci-fi. Some sci-fi, some fantasy, sort of, kind of. You know, I love getting these boxes because I do not know what's in them. You know, these other people do unboxings on YouTube. They know what's in them. They ordered it. They know what's in it. I do not know what is in these boxes till they get delivered to me. I open them up. Up until the point I have no knowledge of what's in them. So today's batch is sci-fi, fantasy, sort of, kind of. Let's see. We need to take somebody. I have all of these, so I will not be keeping this because I already have it. Somebody put a 25-cent sticker on it. Miss Feehan! Naked guy on the cover! The Dominic of the Dragon Seeker lineage, one of the most powerful of the Carpathian lines, is so desperate to go to the very heart of the enemy camp and learn their plans. There's only one way to do so: ingest the parasite blood of a vampire. He knows that it is a mission from which there is no return. With little time before the blood takes effect, he gets the information he needs, relay it to the leader of the Carpathians, and go out fighting. There's no more honorable way to end his life. Soligen Sagara is one of the last of the jaguar people, a royal purebred, a dying species that cannot recover from bad decisions made over 100 years ago. She has long since been alone, fighting to save the remaining sheep-dishers from the hands of the Broderick the Terrible, her own father who slaughtered her family and everyone she loved. Wounded and weary, she plans one last battle, hoping it to stop the man who has made an alliance with the vampires, accepting that she will not come out alive. I have no idea. Frank Peretti, Visitation? Don't know. Nothing interesting ever happened in the small eastern Washington wheat town of Anatoke until now. Without warning, Anatoke has suddenly become a gateway for supernatural sightings of angels and Masonic images materializing in the sky to a sweeping crucifix with the power to heal. Yet these miracles are only the beginning of something much bigger, the return of Messiah as prophesied in the Bible. Then a self-proclaimed prophet mysteriously appears at the local ranch with a message, but is it really from God? Well, this is not sci-fi, but it's in the box. Tiffany L. Warren, all the things I should have known. There are 40-something successful and done with trying to find perfect husbands. So why can't Hannah, Twilla, and Kimberly have men strictly for companionships and mind-blowing sex? But the ladies soon find the real lust and no strings is a way more complicated than they thought. Hannah is drawn to an inspiring writer, but trying to make him appreciate the finer things in life could tear them apart. Kimberly is swept off her feet by adrenaline junkie Sean, and Twilla's Instagram model is throwing her life into chaos. What year is this? 2020. George R. Martin. The Busted Flesh, a Wild Cards novel. In the 6 decades since the alien plague known as wildcard virus spread a wave of mutations across the globe, humanity has become to terms with consequences. Grotesque half-human creatures known as jokers inhabited an underworld their own, while the legendary prodigies known as the Aces have become real-world superheroes, complete with colorful names and costumes. Now a new generation of Aces has taken its place on the world stage, becoming crucial players in international events. At the United Nations, veteran ace John Fortune has assembled a team of young aces known as the Committee to assist a troubled spot around the world, including an invasion of zombies and hurricane-ravaged New Orleans. Okay. Six of Crows. Leobardo. Didn't we do this for Flashback Monday a while back? Akerdem, a bustling hub of international law trade where anything can be had for the right price, and no one knows that better than criminal prodigy Kaz Becker. Kaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. Black paper. Rachel Caine and Anne McGuire. Honor lost. Space renegade Zara Cole may have finally met her match. Life Killer, a creature that can devour entire planets, is spreading terror throughout the universe, and it seems nothing can stand in the monstrous god's king's way. Reeling from a series of battles, Zara and her wounded band of allies are going to need a strategy before they face Life Killer again. Zara's street smarts may not be enough when their enemy could be anywhere, destroying the civilization and picking his teeth with the bones. Terry Brooks, the Elf Queen of SHANNARA. Find the elves and return them to the lands of the men. The shade of the Druid Alanon ordered Ren. It was clearly an impossible task. The elves had gone from the Westlands for more than 100 years. There was not even a trace of their former city of Arborlorn left to mark their passing. No one in the Westlands knew of them except finally the Addershag. The blind old woman had given instructions to find a place on the coast of the Blue Divide, build a fire, and keep burning it for 3 days. One will come. Tiger Ty, the wing rider, had come on his giant row to carry Wynn and his friend Garth to the only clear landing site on the island of Morindel, where the said elves might still exist, somewhere in the demon-hunted jungle. Now she stood within that jungle, remembering the warning of Addershag. Beware, elf girl, I see danger ahead for you, and evil beyond imagining. It had proven all too true. The jungle was dangerous enough, but the demons that dwell there were truly evil beyond imagining. High fire. Not a clue. In the days of yore, he flew the skies and scorched angry mobs. Now he hides from swamp tour boats and rises only with the greatest reluctance from the lazy boy recliner. Lying low in the bayou, his once magnificent fire breather has reduced to lightning Marlboros with no sparks, swilling Absolute in a flash dance t-shirt, and bringing Netflix in a fishing shack. For centuries he struck fear in the hearts and wide as Wherein, Lord Highfire of the Highfire Erin. Now he goes by Vern. However, he has survived. Unlike the rest, he is the last dragon. Traveler, the sequel to The Seeker. Quinn Kincaid is a seeker. Her legacy is an honor, an ancient role passed down for generations, but what she learned on her oath night changed her world forever. Quinn pledged her life to deception. Her legacy as a seeker is not noble but savage. She was trained to be an assassin, and the boy she once loved is out for vengeance, with her family in his sights. Yet Quinn is not alone. Shinobu, her oldest companion, might now be the only person she can trust, the only person who wants answers as desperately as she does. But the deeper they dig into the past, the darker things become. There are long-vanished seeker families, shadowy alliances, and something else, a sinister plan begun generations ago with the power to end the legacy forever. Revolution, Book 3 of the Secret World Chronicle. From New York Times bestseller in science fiction and fantasy's mistress of adventure, Mercedes Lackey, comes book 3 in a new pulse-pounding saga on modern-day humans with superpowers. These all-too-human heroes must learn to control their amazing abilities and then wield them in a global life-or-death struggle. Ugh. Iron Angel, Alan Campbell. After destructive battle, the ancient swaying city of Deepgate has been overtaken. Most of the chains that suspended it have given way. Toxic fumes are emanating from blazing structures, and the temple, once inhibited by the willing Prebster, now dangles upside down above the once uncharted abyss. The victorious spine has initiated martial law, and the ruthless pursuing all who attempt to leave. Amid the turmoil, 2 captives are returned. Kristen Britton, Blackwell. This is a sick book. Over a millennia ago, Morhaven, the Black, heir to the Arshalan Empire, crossed the Great Sea, hoping to replenish his depleted country by conquering the rich lands of Sarkota. But Morhaven understood the defenders of his faraway land, and after years of siege, Morhaven and his enemies were vanquished, but not before the general had descended into madness and restored to their desperate dark magics that rendered his twisted spirit immortal. Finally, Moorhaven had been captured and imprisoned in Blackwell Forest, and Blackwell perimeter had been enclosed and protected by the magic Dire Wall. It stays there for 1,000 years. Ted Dekker to scale. 9 years after Ram Sebastian was thrust into the most unlikely of circumstances as hero and bearer of unimaginable secret, the alliance of his followers in its disarray, an epic battle with the Order has been left them scattered and deeply divided both in strategy and resolve in their struggle to become truly alive and free. Only 36 alive followers remain to Ram. The merger band must fight for survival as the Order is focused on their total annihilation. Misunderstood and despised, their journey will be one of desperation against a new, more intensely evil order. Cami Garcia, Dangerous Deception. After a disastrous car crash outside New York City, Ridley Duchesne's dark caster siren and bona fide bad girl has gone missing. Her wannabe rocker and quarter incubus boyfriend Wesley Lincoln was driving, and when he comes in too, Riley is nowhere to be found. The only clue is the giant ravine embossed on the hood of the truck that hit them, which can mean only one thing: Silas Ravenwood is back, and he has Riley. Now you gotta go get her. Mercedes Lackey, Intrigues. Madge was an orphan who had slaved in a gem mine for all his young life. Found in a bandit camp when he was an infant, he was taken by Cole Peters, who owned the mine. Peters constantly told him that he had bad blood and would never amount to anything. Had he not been chosen by his companions, Dallin, and taken to Haven to be trained in the new Herald College, he probably would have died before he reached adulthood. Now Mage was never hungry, never cold. He slept in a real bed in his own room, and most importantly, he had Dallin, who was like another part of himself, and yet aside from Lena and Bear, both loners like he was. He couldn't relate to most of the Herald, Healer, or Bard trainees. He was the only trainee who came from what to the others was unimaginable poverty. Even the poorest shepherd was appalled when he heard about the conditions Madge and his fellow mine workers had endured. And Madge had no tolerance for the chronic complaining of his fellow students. The students had no idea how good they had it. How many times have you heard that? Because people don't realize. The Burden of the Dead. Mercedes Lackey. In an alternate 16th century where magic is part of life, the Holy Roman Empire rules Europe. Constantinople is under siege by the Venetians and their allies, the great city in the crossroads of east and west, and it is here that the power of Hecate, the sweeping woman goddess of crossroads, is at its greatest. Italian Betito Valisto must deal with her deadly magic as well as the might of the Constantinople in order to destroy the fleets of churnbogs assembled in the Black Sea before they can cut the underbelly of Europe. Uh, Three more. Mercedes Lackey, GWENHWYFAR. Inspired by the work of her friend and mentor, the late Marion Zimmer Bradley, best-selling author Mercedes Lackey gives her own unique spin to the ancient classic of King Arthur, even through the eyes of the latest GWENHWYFAR. The oldest of the Welsh stories and myths of Arthur speak of him having not one but three queens of that name. Giving back to these old sources, Mercedes retells the story of Arthur's legend and his third queen. George R. Martin presents Wild Cards. So the first book. An alien virus rages the world. Its result is random as a hand of cards. Those infected either draw black queens and die, draw an ace and receive superpowers, or draw the joker and are bizarrely mutated. Nevertheless, human nature reigns supreme, and one of the most enduring human drives is the search for love. Aces and jokers alike both want to find or have it lost, or perhaps just want to use it for personal gain. And our final one, Ted DEKKER, Outlaw. The story of how I, Julian Carter, and my precious 2-year-old son, Stephen, left Atlanta, Georgia, and found ourselves on a white sailboat tossed about like cork on a raging sea off Australia's northern tip in 1963 is harrowing, but it pales in comparison to what happened deep in the jungle where I was taken as a slave by savage tribe unknown to the world. Some places dwell in darkness so deep that God seems to stay away. And that's my box of sci-fi, fantasy, or whatever you want to call it. Have a good day.